Hello everyone, I know it's been a while since we've done a HISHE review. There's been a collection of reasons why, but you don't need to worry about all that stuff, so let's just call this getting back on the massive cankled unicorn and give it a whirl, shall we?
Cankled unicorn shirts are available, by the way, as well as other HISHE attire if you want to help keep us in business.
Anyway, is this an in-game review or what?
You want to talk some in-game, right? Of course you do. So, let's get to it!
This movie's 3 hours long. You don't want to pee your pants cause it's Endgame, baby. And you don't want to drink a thing. Alright, back on the unicorn. Endgame, the biggest movie of all time that brings the incredible conclusion to the insanely impressive 10-year stack of Marvel movies, is here. And what a finale it is. If you've been keeping up with the MCU, this movie is likely to be everything you've been hoping for and then some. The Russo brothers deliver on so many levels, and this is the kind of film that will mean so much to so many different types of fans. The cast is amazing. Each Avenger brings a layer of heart to this one that hasn't always been the case, in my opinion. Dare I say this is the best acting in any Marvel film? I don't know. I think maybe I'm just sentimental, but I thought they really brought it for this film, and it made it feel extra special. The movie starts just right. The aftershock of Thanos has set the tone, and it leads down a path to a very exciting conclusion you don't want to miss. It's really hard to talk about much without spoiling things this film wants you to experience yourself, so I'm trying to stay vague here at the beginning. I do think the film delivers so beautifully because of the legacy of films leading up to it, so as a standalone film, I don't think you can enjoy it just the same. It's like saying Return of the King is the best of the Lord of the Rings, when I would say, yeah, but it's only because you had the previous movies to bond with all these characters. It's a journey, and Endgame is the climax to Frodo taking that ring to Mordor. I would imagine if you jump in with this one as your first Avengers flick, or if you're brand new to most things MCU, there will be nothing special for you. But, if you're like the rest of us, you may cry your eyes out, because there are many moments that are just, it's so good. So I will just say, I enjoyed it immensely. The film went lots of places I expected, it had many awesome surprises, and it has, in my opinion, the most emotional moments in the entire MCU. I actually want to hug the Avengers after seeing this movie. So I say with enthusiasm, go check it out. It's such an awesome achievement. That's about all I can say for my non-spoiler review, so let's dive into the story, shall we? Because I'm assuming everyone really has seen it that's here, right? If you haven't seen it, please don't ruin it for yourself just to hear my thoughts. This one is worth the ticket price. I'll be here when you get back, so go check it out and then come back for the spoilers.
Hey, it's the spoiler warning, time to turn away if you haven't seen the movie.
I can't believe they teased the X-Men with Robert Pattinson as Wolverine. That was nuts. I mean, my crowd went bananas. All the men in the audience were like, yes, Robert! He's such a great actor and deserves to be known for more than that dumb twinkle vampire thing that doesn't matter anymore in the slightest. This is gonna be sick! I'm kidding, that didn't happen at all. But for real, spoilers from here on out, people. Let's start with, what did I think about the story? The story is pretty full, being 3 hours of twists and turns, but I absolutely loved it. I loved the time travel angle. I think that time travel was one of the things we've all been waiting for, so it was kind of cool to see that prediction actually come true. This being the finale, the time travel angle gave such a cool way to let characters and previous movies have a final bow. They crammed so many people in this movie that even some of the directors got to have some final lines. I love that.
Did you like Thor Lebowski?
Absolutely. Thor being overweight was such a shock and so hilarious, but I thought him taking responsibility for the loss in Infinity War was very believable, so it actually made a lot of sense.
What did you think about Thanos?
I felt like Thanos should have been a lot easier to beat without the gauntlet, considering his fighting style in Infinity War. In this movie, he's almost just as dangerous, but he doesn't have any stones, so I thought it was weird and thought he should be defeated way more easily the second time, considering Thor absolutely wrecked him at the beginning of the film. So that kind of bugged me. Nobody throws magic at him, suddenly Stormbreaker isn't a formidable weapon. He can take lightning, and he just bats away the hammer and the shield. I mean, come on. I know that wouldn't be as exciting to watch, so they had to make him hold his own and to be terrifying. But the Avengers should have easily been able to take down Thanos immediately, in my opinion.
What did you not like?
Black Widow dying? I didn't like that one bit. Hawkeye gets to live because he has kids, but not Iron Man? Are you kidding me? I wanted Hawkeye to make the sacrifice.
Anything else?
I didn't like that Korg is playing Fortnite in the year 2023. Like, are we to assume that the game is still hogging the spotlight 5 years after the snap? Other negatives, I didn't like Hulk at first, surprisingly. It took watching the film a few more times to start liking Professor Hulk. He's more of a teddy bear in this film, which feels really opposite of Hulk's stereotype, but I guess that's what Professor Hulk is. I think Ragnarok Hulk will always be my favorite Hulk, but I did think the effects of Hulk's face in this movie were incredible. I get it. Do you think Loki is dead? Not anymore. I mean, I always wanted Loki from Infinity War to be revealed that he faked his death, but now this movie gives us a little reason to think that Loki could still exist when he portal jumped out with the Tesseract. That would mean not only is he still alive, but he's also back to being the evil Loki we all expect him to be. I think that's really cool. I hope they go that way. And this makes me think that's the real reason why Thor ended up going with the Guardians at the end of the movie.
What about that huge battle, though?
The final battle is just superhero eye candy galore. I knew they had to do something bigger than Infinity War's battle, and they definitely do for Endgame. When the portals start to open up and the crowds of people that just keep pouring out to fight Thanos' army, it's like, yes! Yes! After yes! And after that, it's just like so much going on. You can't even see it all in one go. People are punching and blasting and chasing each other over the map. It's insane and full of awesome moments. Cap's wielding Thor's hammer, like, yeah, what? Everyone else is getting their shots in. It was awesome, and it all leads up to the big finish, the final snap. When we teased Tony dying in our Dubs video, I didn't exactly expect to be totally correct. I sort of hoped that the Avengers were gonna, like, all leave together somehow, like, alternate dimension or whatever, but they would all live happily ever after. I didn't know it was gonna happen. But I sensed there would be something that happened that made moving forward without certain cast members permanent. But when Tony says, "I'm Iron Man," and snaps his fingers, that was so powerful. Because not only was he saving everyone, he was also doing what his father said he could never do. And that's putting the greater good above his own self-interest. I thought that was really cool. And then as Tony's like laying there with his face half charred, the way they like had the characters kind of say goodbye with Rhodey first, and then Peter, and then finally Pepper, I thought that was beautifully done and so cool. What was your favorite? There are so many pleasing moments in this film. It's hard to lock down a favorite. Most of my favorite parts were with the quiet moments, like Stark teaching Nebula to play paper football at the very beginning, Black Widow tearing up after talking to Brody about Hawkeye, I Love You 3000, Thor talking to his mother one last time, Stark talking to his father one last time, Cap seeing Peggy through the blinds, Stark hugging Peter, the funeral sequence, old Steve Rogers, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That was so perfect. And then the dance. These are the moments that don't mean anything unless you've seen the old movies. The way they just gave the fans bit after bit was so heartwarming and perfect. Even when it was predictable, it was still so good. I think my personal favorite moment was the funeral with Happy and Tony's daughter. When Happy asks her, "Are you hungry? What do you like to eat?" And she says, "Cheeseburgers." I knew that that was a callback to the first Iron Man when Tony says, "I want a cheeseburger." But when Happy said, "I'm gonna get you all the cheeseburgers you want," that's where it hit me right in the heart. I think it's just the dad in me now, but I really love that moment, and I thought it was such a sweet final goodbye from the director of Iron Man, since Iron Man sort of started all of this. I think that was my favorite. Old Captain America talking to Falcon, though, is also pretty dang special. And Hulk sitting in the back of a truck. There's too much in this movie, guys. It's just so good.
But what was the point?
To make a bazillion fragillion monies. I feel like the theme of this movie was recovery. There were several moments that felt like Cap's support group where a character confesses their fears to someone, and that someone encourages them to turn out of their despair. Thor is drinking his sorrows away and clearly is depressed, but then when he gets to talk with his mother, she tells him everyone fails at trying to be who they're supposed to be. Black Widow tells Hawkeye she doesn't judge someone by their worst mistakes when he says, "You know what I've become." Nebula even tries to convince her past self that change is possible, but ends up having to kill that version of herself, which is basically symbolic of her letting go of the past. There's a lot of things in this film that I think might encourage someone who may be struggling with things in real life, like depression, grief, anxiety, stuff like that. If you want to look at Hulk, he is someone that represents someone who faced extreme difficulty and found his cure. He is now the best of both worlds. I feel like this movie is about healing and helping others. You can fix what's broken. There is always time, because everyone deserves to get their life back so they can have joy. Just like Steve and Peggy dancing in the window. Or it wasn't about any of that. It was just about making a whole bunch of money. You decide. Okay, those are my thoughts on Endgame. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments. We are definitely working on how Endgame should have ended. This is going to be a big one, I'm sure. But everything is very in the early stage right now, so give us some time to build it. I want to do it good. I want to do it right. So don't expect it like next week or something, but it is on its way. We got some other videos in the works already, so we hope you enjoy those as well. Thank you again for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Get yourself a Cankles t-shirt, and hopefully we'll see you next time.